Hey everybody, it's Paul Grossman, the Dark Arts Wizard of Test Automation. We are live streaming for the first time in the new year, and I'm continuing on with some of my projects that I am doing. Just to make sure this isn't quite as boring as it may be. I mean, I love what I do, but it doesn't really float the boat for everybody. I'm going to turn on a little bit of music over here and see if we can find something that's kind of nice. Kind of like that. I mean, just the music. We'll put the music background in the down a little bit in the background. And I'm going to go over and share my screen. We'll talk a little bit about what we're trying to accomplish in the next hour. Hopefully it could be quick, but to be honest, AI, it doesn't make it quick. It seemed like a cool thing when we first started here, but it's not as quick as you'd think. My last project I worked on just before the end of the year was a voice-to-text application using vibe coding it inside of Auto8. But right now, that was completed, and it kind of works, so it's okay. But today we're back to some Playwright. So let me go add my screen over here. I'll kind of make it a little bit bigger because I do have a wide screen. So let me explain what's going on today. A couple weeks ago, I wrote this console logger, and it's pretty cool. It's an alternative logger for seeing what goes on your application while it's running. And the ultimate project is to get into my workflow. Now you'll see during this demo, during this session, there's going to be these little things that pop up on the right hand side, and those are my every 15 minutes. Those are my tests that are kind of knocking at the door of the system saying, hey, how fast can you get stuff done? And then it's out, and it sends messages over to my Teams folder over there. But what we're having a problem is seeing what's happening when we're running this all at the same time. I'm going to change that music. Let's try something else. Let's see how about the Wild Discover? Yeah, that sounds good. All right, so hey, I got one person watching me from Twitch. Hey there. By the way, you can chat with me if you want. Always good to do that. And I think my chat is over here. Here's my comments. Yeah, you can chat. I'll put that in there. If you find it on the, you can see the chat going on from Twitch. You can see that. And we can also see it going on from YouTube. So there you go. I'm also in LinkedIn as well, and going out to a couple other places all at the same time. All right, so let's get on to this. Our major problem is that when we start a test, it kind of stops right here. And no, I want this to continue on and scroll and display as much. And in fact, if it gets rid of stuff, if it doesn't have a short idea over there, then I want to have it. If it runs out the top and goes away, that's great. I don't really need it. Oh, hello, Tiago. I think Tiago is the person that might be watching me. Let's take a look. Can I? Let's take that over here. Yeah, all right. Tiago's watching me. He put up. He said, Tiago says hello. Hello, Tiago. How you doing? Actually, over the weekend, I was testing to see what is going wrong with my notifications. So it is good to see that you are watching. Thank you so much. If there's any questions, let me know, because I can actually hear it go ding in my headphones, and I will say, okay, I got to start focusing on some other stuff. So as I was saying, what's going on here? Interesting. I got like 2 people watching from LinkedIn, and I'm only reporting one person seeing it. That's fine. We are good. We are good. So you can chat. Yeah, I'm saying I said I could chat. All right. So anyway, let's go on over here. So this is my little project. I'm gonna go and let it. I'll run and let you see what it does. First of all, I'm gonna close that out, and then we're gonna try and fix this. So here's my little workflow script over here, and it's my monitoring script that kicks off every once in a while. And I'm gonna let it flow, let it run, and it pops up this custom logger. And this logger should be putting out the exact same stuff that's going on over here. And this time it gave me just one line, which is quite unfortunate. All right, we don't need to let that go. We're gonna try it run one more time. I'm gonna go stop it. Then we're gonna have the AI give us some information about what it is. So when it's open, okay, there it's open, and then it kind of loses it. All right, let's see how far it gets. Well, is it adding more to it? It's a lot bigger than I anticipated. One moment here. Someone's bothering me. Oh, now I need to talk to them. Right. So we're kind of going through, and it basically just kind of faltered over here. So I think it's not. I think it's losing the connection. So I've been chatting with it for a bit, and I'm going to try and chat with it a little bit more. One of the things I wanted to do was actually, I got a little tired of the inline stuff. So I started talking to into Copilot, and I said, hey, this is my custom console logger. I put all the code that I had from the console logger over here. Where did that go? Where are you? There's a console logger. So I took all this code. Yeah, kind of cool. And does all sorts of cool stuff. Fills with text, but nothing else is displayed. Okay, so fills with text briefly. Oh, hello. What am I seeing live over here? Okay, it's a delay. That's what it is. Okay, no problem. Console and auto it. It fills with just a page of text, but then nothing else is displayed. The possible there's a limit that can be that it is hitting, something like that. It is hitting, and so I'm going to send it over there to go think about it for a little while. So yeah, that's my little script that goes and kicks off. And while this is thinking about it, GUI edit control and how you're actually limiting it. All right, cool. Becomes extremely slow. This means the entire edit control text dependency rewrite the entire text is slower. So, there's a limit of 64K, but I'm not getting anywhere near 64K of data. Your pipe logic is fine. All right, cool. How to fix it properly? Let's see. Add this after the H edit. All right, I will go do that. I see what you're throwing down over here. Let's go find that H edit. Control find H edit, right? EDIT. And we will search for it after creating the H edit. So we'll start over here. So there's our edit. This after creating H edit. Well, there's my create edit. So I will punch that in there. Set text limit. All right. Okay. B. Stop reading the entire control at a time instead of this stuff. All right, let's go see where we find that. Okay. Control V into that. find next. 3, let's see. It's only one place? Okay, just for that one place. We append that instead of this, Control C. Instead of S current control, and then this guy. Where's this guy over here? Let's do find that. Find next. So it's between, so instead of doing this and this, use this much faster. Okay, so all right, cool. You know what I might do? I might just ask it to give me the coded version, because I'm afraid I'm going to go put it in the wrong sense. Keep your trimming logic, but do it smarter. Okay. Okay. Can you share a full code to copy? Oh no, that's not very good English. Me English, good, not bad. Bad, not good. I don't know. Okay, here's the version. Blah, blah, blah. He's still making it, so it takes a little while for it to figure it out. But what we're going to do is we're going to go punch it in there. Hello. All right. This is interesting. Okay, my entire system's getting bogged down. And I'm not crazy about that. And my mouse is getting bogged down. Oh boy. This may be a very short live video, because everything is starting to kind of go. So this is... All right, let's take a look at my memory over here. Now, my mouse is actually working fine over here. My CPUs are okay. They're getting some workout, but they're not going crazy. Almost half of them are almost doing nothing, or a third, I'd say. The Ethernet is doing all sorts of crazy stuff over there. There's my GPU, and even it's looking good. I'm not sure exactly what caused that slowdown, but we will keep an eyeball on it. All right. Might be because Copilot... Is Copilot running inside my... This is not the internal site. Changes may not be saved. What's going on? Cancel. All right. Leave. All right. Something else was happening in the background. My apologies. But we will get that taken care of. Let's go back to console logger. There's our console logger over there, and this is the AU3 stuff. And you can compile this into an executable, which is what it's doing. I'm going to go close this one out, and I'm going to go and copy everything over here. It should have a copy. Copy that. Go over here, select all, paste, and we will do a tools and build. It's not really what I want to do. I wanted to go, and this gives me my little console logger, and I should be able to use a named pipe to talk to that. So let's go and run our test. Rerun a test over here and run this workflow. I'm going to move this puppy over here because the browser... Okay, it launched its own version. I really should say the version over here. It's not giving me anything. All right, we're going to stop that. We're going to give it another rerun. I hate to lose a working version. It is on my main over there, but we'll get it back. In fact, there is a way. Okay, so it's starting to spit out. So here's the new version. Let's see if it gives us some more. Ooh. It gave us more. All right. On first attempt. Let's see. All right. We'll cut that down. I'm going to close this out. We'll stop this execution. By the way, in case my mouse gets all slow like that again, I have a custom stop that will actually stop the whole thing. And a debug. Even in live mode, I can debug and say, pause, hang on a second. We need to think about stuff. But we will play with that later. All right, back to what we were looking at. I was talking to AI, and I said, okay, so it did this. Okay, we got a little more. Any suggestions? Not everything. Any other suggestions? Dot. All right. So I'll put all that stuff in there. If ANSI escape codes are breaking your buffer. Okay. All right, that's fine. We're going to stop. That I can fix on my own. Uh-oh. Everything's slowing down again. Maybe I have to put my panel up here. Stopping all tests. Let's go back over here. Everything's stopped. That's fine. And let's see. What are we going to do? Oh, yeah, I know what we're going to do. We're going to go over to where we are actually doing the... let's do a search. I don't want for history. I want to do a search over here. And I had a breakpoint in the in here. So we're going to go to the console log. That's my custom console log. I'm going to go over there. And it's got a little bit of, not crazy about that, but you know what? All in good time. There's a term for that. It's pork wrapped in bacon. A wrapper that goes to another wrapper. Not crazy about that. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take this message over here. That's the message that's being brought in. And that message gets modified all as it's going through over here, which is great because this has all the coloring and stuff. And this doesn't need to go out at the end to the pipe. So there's our output message. I'm going to put this over here, just the standard. Okay. Sending well, you know what? Let's make this a comment. Because the AI is usually pretty smart. It's figuring out what an unformed... Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Hey, you read my mind. All right, so I'm going to go and give this another run and see what see how it goes. Doing my little login. There's my console logger. Here's some data. And it's just the standard stuff. It seems to be just stopping in the middle. Okay, so it's not really doing what I want it to do. So we're going to go kill it. All right, let's go ask it one more time, see if this AI can tell me what is going on. I want this over here. Are breaking. All right, so I can tell it. Okay, repos are not aligned with message boundaries. You read this. 2, 1. Fix strip ANSI codes before appending. No. Well, I guess then modify the append text call. All right. Might as well do that because it's a pain to go and try and clear that stuff out. Interesting thing, these little icons over here. One of the first things I did was that I asked it to put a little icon next to it, but that was only in the console logger. This stuff over here, like here, add this little thing. If you see this word, put this image with it. And most of this was actually generated by the AI. I thought, it says, hey, if you see verify or check, please put a magnifying glass. It did all that, but it also kind of polluted all my rest of my code with additional emoji. And I've been telling it, hey, don't do that. Okay, so knock it off. And that is actually located in my instructions. Say don't do that. All right. That music is getting a little bit boring, so we're going to go grab something else. Oh, and there's messages. They are not clicking, pinging over here. So we got your mom's new man. What? Let me show this. What is this? Thanks for specifying each step. Coding is new to me, and I can barely comprehend what I'm staring at. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. I'm not gonna fault you on that one. And it looks like he's probably gone because there's always one guy who just jumps on here and never says anything. But yeah, coding is new. Well, the cool thing is with AI, it's not going to matter all that much anymore because, some expert people don't like vibe coding. I am always open to the newest and latest thing in coding and test automation. So I do not shut the doors on any new concept before trying it. Now, if I try it and it turns out to be crap, then I'll say I'm never gonna try that stuff again. All right, so as I said, I'm not using Claude over here to do the code, but we're gonna let's go back over to focus on what I was doing over here. There's our little co-pilot guy. Okay, so he wants me to add this, so we'll go and add that. Let's go jump back over here. Sounds good. And by the way, this AutoIt, unless you've been around a while, most people don't know about it. It's been around a long time, and that I don't know what that is. I think that is my mouse that just did that. Decided to go really small screen. All right, there's my strip ANSI, and then it says over here to put this append text into modify the append text call. So I want to go find the append text. Like that. Let's go find it. Okay. I think there's more than one. That's the first one. So let's go look at the second one, and there's a third. That's the one we're looking for. So we're going to go and do that. Okay. All right, we're going to go and we're going to say tools, build. Oh, it did not like that. Return string. On what line? What did it not like? Didn't like something. Let me try that again. Go. Okay, it basically just responded with the error. Unterminated string. Return string, blah, blah, blah. Return string. The only one I did was that other one. So what line is it on? Let's go options. We'll turn on view. We'll turn on line numbers. Okay, what line number did it? Not 156. So let's go down to 156. Here's 156. Oh. I think it is supposed to do that. Let's try that again. We'll go tools and go. There's our little guy that worked. So now I'm going to go and say tools build. Just a reminder for anybody watching, if you click on compile, your exe will be immediately identified as malware and it will get quarantined. And the reason is not that there's malware in it. It's the reason is that your malware checker, whatever it happens to be, I've got McAfee over here, can't look into the app, the executable, and it will immediately say, if I can't look at it, we shouldn't run it. If you do build, it's unencrypted, and that's the way things. And then it's good. It's like, okay, I'm happy. I'm happy. All right, so we modify these. Okay. Your pipe reads are not aligned with the message box. You read this. I don't know what this means. What does number 2 mean? Did you get cut off? Okay. All right. It says your pipe does not align correctly here. Oh, there goes my mouse again. This is something with Copilot over here. It is really just dogging it. But I think it'll come back in a moment. Okay, that's nice. All right, we're coming back here. Okay. It says, not aligned with the message boundaries. Name, price, deliver raw bytes, not lines or messages. Your code can read up to 8,190 bytes at a time. This means a single line may split across multiple reads. You might arrive like this, and your code treats this as a complete string and appends it immediately. So blah, 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 blah. Why this matters? How to fix it. Yes, I wanted to know how to fix it. You need a buffer accumulator. Okay, I will do that. And give you a full fixed version with an accumulator. You want? I can produce a drop. Well, guarantees no missing. Okay. Yes. Do it. I don't know if it means it'll build the whole thing for me. So it says here's the full working with an accumulator. It's the thinking about it. Yeah, look at this thing. Just chewing it up. It must be running locally. Yeah. I do have a local version of Copilot. It's in everybody who's using Windows will see it. Okay, let me get back over to the questions over here because your mom's new man is giving me some messages over here. Let's see. I want to catch up. But there we go. Now it finally really got my system. Okay. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, so I was talking about vibe coding. Some people don't like it, some do. So your mom's new coding says that's what I'm hearing with coding. Eventually, your mom's new coding. I don't even know what your name is, but that's okay, Ben. I'm gonna call you Mom. I don't know. That's what I'm hearing. Coding eventually will become advanced enough to build itself. It may, but it's going to take a few years, especially because it takes me. It gets it right 80% of the time. Gosh, there was something relative to that. I just realized 80% is my ultimate goal in automation. People at higher levels. Pardon me, I had to sneeze there. People at high levels of a company, like C-level people, they talk in. They got the big ideas. The guys at the bottom are like, there's the reality. The C-level guys are like, well, let's just automate everything. 100. Our goal is to automate 100% of everything. Honestly, you can't automate 100% of everything. You can get to about 80%. And the reason is because while you're writing the code to automate stuff, your developers are writing more code and more features. So you're almost always behind them. Also, that's usually 4 or 5 developers to 1 or 2 automation engineers. And regardless of what math course you may have taken, they still will write features and functions faster than 5 will write code faster than 1 or 2. And then the C-level guys go like, oh, what? Well, there's record and playback. Well, no, there is, and it's not a good idea because it just doesn't make code that's reusable. At least that used to be the problem. Now you can have the AI go through your whole code base and say, hey, what can you clean up? What can you put together and making reusable functions, and then it goes and tries to do it. But again, you're saying 80% lies there. Okay, I got this. It's okay, your mom. It's I understand. He's like, eventually will. He's just correcting what he had put in there. No big deal. Let's see. If it can't be read, what does that mean in terms of cybersecurity? It can't be breached, essentially. It can't be read. You'd have to give me a little bit more context. I don't know what I was talking about 5-10 minutes ago to reference that. So if you could give me a little bit more detail, what you saw, where you saw it. There is a company out there that is starting to get into cybersecurity. It just came out. The guys who brought us the automation tool, Applitools, has a new company out there, and really good, smart guy out there who's founded it. So I will go and get that information, because I'd love to give a shout out. But to that, you know what? I'm going to go do that. If you just give me one moment while I think about what's going on. Let's see. I will get the name of that company. It is EON. EON. So, yeah, check out EON. It's a new cyber company. In fact, I just happened to bump into a guy at Christmas, New Year's Eve, sitting at a table right next to me. How are your chances of that? And I asked him, well, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I work for EON. It's a cybersecurity company for the cloud. I'm like, really? Okay. I know a guy who's there. I mentioned the guy's name. He goes, I know him. And I said, ask that guy if he knows the dark arts wizard of test automation. Tell him you met the dark arts wizard at about 8:00 on New Year's Eve. And my friend responded and said, yep. Okay. I mentioned something about it. Code being flagged as, oh, yes. Okay. Your mom, I'm going to get back to you. Yes, let me clarify that. So one of the tool I'm using, this is a tool out here. Well, the editor is Skype Lite, and I've known about this for probably 30 years, I would guess, before the millennia changed. So this was a tool that was used by network administrators. It used to be the network administrators were the persons who had to, hello, my phone ran away. The network administrators were the ones who would have to import new employees and onboard them into the system so that they had phone connections, all sorts of stuff. And it was kind of an arduous process if you did 2 or 3, and if you had 10 or 20 people hired, it might be a day before you got through all of them. All right. So what they would do is they use this tool or this programming language called AutoIt. And I think I will just mention that AutoIt script. And let's go see what we get over here. AutoIt script. Yep. This is where you want to go if you want to learn about that. It is basic like. Now, I'm going to tell you, I have this common joke that everyone hears. I do not brag about making my mortgage payment using an automation tool written in BASIC. Nobody brags about, hey, I had a job that I was writing BASIC for, that stuff I learned back in the 80s. I don't brag about that. But this is fairly easy, and it's easy, it's free. You can download it. And I'm going to tell you, it is... let's see, one more thing I could mention over here. Here's my temp file over here. One second. Let me go mention something else, because you brought up a really good thing. First of all, I got this tool called Everything. I use this all the time, and what I want to do is look for AutoIt, and I'm going to go search by folders because that's all I really need. AutoIt. And there is my AutoIt. Let's see if I've got my AutoIt program files, AutoIt 3. Now, if I go into AutoIt 3 and open it up, it's pretty small. It's not that big. But here's the thing. The examples. I want you to look at how many examples you got. This is the COM This is how many examples you get for setting up a communications GUI. Okay, that took a little while. There's a few of those. All right, this is not really simple. Okay, I got those. All right, we're gonna go find, because I'm trying to make a point that I hoped would really, yeah, that's examples. Here's extras, editors, Gashi. There's a help, an examples file, and help file. There we go. This is the help file. Check this out. Look at this little thing going down over here. That's my mouse scrolling all the way down. We'll let it keep going. Literally, I am not making up. There are thousands of examples of things to build out there. I had a friend of mine who asked me a crazy thing. He's like, I want to build a calendar that only has 8 months and it will have holidays. And I built it in this thing. So my friend's a little crazy, but I built his crazy thing. And I built it because there's a calendar control in here. I just took it and modified it and was able to build it. Now, I did that by hand years ago. Today, I could probably do it with the AI. That might be something to talk about then. Oh, here's even more. Excel. Why? There's an airplane sound in this thing. Somebody put together. There's a soccer game. I don't know. But literally, there are thousands of examples that come with this. And you don't have to wonder how to build it by yourself. You could just take something and build it on your own. Anyway, I've taken a very long detour around that. Is that basically AutoIt is what I'm using over here. So I'm going to go close that out. Close this out. And I'm using AutoIt. This is the editor. I think I missed it. Yep, I did. I missed it. There's the editor. Skype is the editor that you use. There's no AI in this. To be fair, this thing had an update about, let's see, a month ago. And before that was 3 years ago. And before that was 3 years before that. So it's not that, I think they just updated when something has a breaking change in Windows on this. So, and why do I use this? Because there are things that I want to do with any of my automation tools, QTP, Selenium, WebDriver IO, Playwright, UFT, it doesn't matter. But there's things that they can't do. So this is, while the automation tool are the bricks that I use to put together stuff, AutoIt is the mortar that I use to kind of glue it all together. If there's something I want it to do, I'll build it in that I can't do with an automation tool. I'll build it in AutoIt. In fact, I've got at least 3 examples right over here. This is another one. This is a Dev Tools Network tab that when I run, it will actually open the browser with the Dev Tools tab open, and then it will activate the network so that I can see exactly what messages I'm getting. I have another one somewhere around here. It's floating around. I don't know. So this guy, and there's another one that actually moves the browsers around. So when you launch multiple browsers in parallel, it doesn't look all that interesting to the C-level people. They're like, you're only doing one browser at a time. I've heard that but running browsers in parallel is the better idea. Like, absolutely, we are running in parallel. I run this little application that goes in, throws browsers randomly around the screen. Oh, good idea. You've got it all running in multiple stuff. And they're all happy and cheery and stuff like that. All right, I think we had enough of that music. We're going to go change it up. Let's see what else we got. And then I'll take a look at the questions because I know they're kind of, I talk a whole lot. Let's try Striking Force. Yeah, it's kind of like a, sounds like a Kenny Loggins airline thing. All right, so there we go. Let me get back over to our comments because, hey, comments are cool. Oh, you know what? I didn't even get back to them. Your mom, she's lots of RAM. You bet. You darn well bet. Anyone who you work in a company where you are an automation engineer, and I cannot stress this enough. So many of us, so many SDETs out there, you know, they get with a job and they say, oh, we're going to provide the computer for you. Here is a nice Commodore 64 from 1980. That should be fine. Okay, I'm being facetious there. But yeah, they usually give you, oh, you're not a real automation engineer. You're not a real developer. So you don't get what the developers. So the developers have really wide screens. You can see this is a very wide screen, left to right. And developers get lots of RAM and CPU and all sorts of stuff. This computer, it's a little background. This is an MSI Gamer. It's an MSI Raider that I picked up over at Costco of all places, and I got a really good discount on it because it was the last model of that line at that store. So I bought the display model. Don't be afraid to buy the display model. They're like, it might have viruses on it. I'm like, they don't connect to the internet. They just play a demo all day long. That's all they do. You can't connect them to an internet anyway. You have to know what the Costco password would be to have that. So it's all good. And besides, each and every one of them has a virus malware detection thing already built into them. You can replace them if you want. What else am I saying about this? Yeah, I get every time I get a new computer. This is my second MSI. It's the second display model I bought. And when I got the discount on that, I upgraded it from, I think, 16 gig to 64 gig. I also upgraded the hard drive from 1 terabyte to 2 terabytes. And I also have an offline drive of 14 terabytes. I'm not crazy about that one because it is not memory drive, but that was super expensive. But I went and got the disk drive, 14 terabyte, and basically use it for offloading. I just grab, if I do videos and they're sitting, taking up space in my COD drive, I just throw them off to my off drive. And if I need to go get them back, I just pull them back. So, okay. All that, get back around saying you mentioned something about code being flagged as malware. Yes. So here's you've been waiting for 5 minutes. What you can do with this code, so I'll show you. Under Tools, there is Go, which means run it from inside the Skite editor. This is running inside the Skite editor. You can also compile it. You don't need to have Skite installed somewhere to do this. You do need it to write the code, but you don't need it to run it. You can click on Build, F7, and that will create an executable version of this application. So this one is console logger AU3, and then this is AU2. This is converting the AU3 over to an executable. AU2 AutoIt to executable, and it'll create an executable. You can send that to a friend and just like, look what I did. It's kind of cool, and you get it. The point I was making was it's also an option. So it's compile. Now most developers will say, yeah, I got to compile this. This is what I do. But if you compile it, in fact, I will go and compile it. It compiles it and it will basically put it into a encrypted state. So you cannot reverse engineer back to whatever this is, which is all kind of cool and everything. And when I do that, I should, because I just did that. Oh, no, then you got to go run it. So we'll bring that up over here. So I just compiled it, and you will see it's probably not even there. It probably silently moved it on me. Let me see if updates, blah, blah, blah. Let's go see if we can even find it to run it. So that's the console logger exe. There's my console logger. I'm going to go by alphabetical. Do I have console logger? I'm going to go run it. And all of a sudden, I got a ding. And look at that right there. We just stopped the threat. And console logger exe just got thrown into the quarantine because the exe is compiled and I'm going to say encrypted. It just can't read it. So it said, if I can't read it, I'm going to throw it away. So now I'm going to go back over here to Tools. I'm going to say Build instead of Compile. Exact same thing, except without all that extra junk going on back there. And I should now have, you're gonna do it for me. I should have it. So there's our executable. Now it's there. And now if I run it, it says, yeah, everything's fine because the McAfee inspected it and said, yes, this is good. All right. So that took a long time, but I hope your mom, you understand that. He says, oh, I see, like Celia has a finished product, or did veer too far off. Yeah, what you'd have to do is have the executable have its signature signed off with the tool, the malware stuff out there, and it's really difficult to get that done unless you're a really big company. So, and I these little utilities, this is just stuff I kind of play around with. So it's almost as much as playing around with WebSim. But where Paulie's not going to get distracted. No, he's not. But great question. And look at that. I even did a demo of how it works. Not a problem with your mom. Hey, cool. Share the link. Tell everybody. Make friends. Man, I'd love to know how long you've been, if you're a developer or if you're working in QA, and how long you've been doing it. I think you said you're just kind of starting out there. So ask any questions. I've been working in the field of testing for 35 years, and I've been an automation engineer for 26 years. Started somewhere around 2000. So 2001. Back to this. I said I was going to get this done, and what am I doing? All right, let's see. Well, I totally forgot what I was asking the darn thing. Fully working with the accumulator. Okay, we're going to go copy the accumulator. We are going to go back over to that's the console. I can close that version up. I'm going to go over here, and we're going to go select all, paste all that in there. Tools, let's say go. It did not like it. It says it's got an unterminated string. Oh, again? All right. We'll find it. It's the same thing. What's that? Line 102. All right. Let's go back up to 102. It's a regex that's just giving it issues. So we'll do that. We'll file save. It should do that. Options, tools, go should give us our. Oh, hello. 164 expected equals 164. For not having any AI in it, it's pretty smart. Maybe it does now. 164, very last one. Yeah, that looks like I didn't get everything. All right, hold on. Yeah, it did not give me anything. Did you get cut off? Please show the rest. And sometimes it'll go and try and write everything else. And a lot of people say, you misspelled the word show. You got shoe. I'm old enough to remember Lawrence Welk. Don't worry, you don't know who that is. You can look it up on the YouTube for all of 10 seconds. And he would sit there and go, it's got a really good shoe for you tonight. And that's how everybody did an imitation of it. Let's try that again. And the cool thing is I can misspell. You're okay if I retoast the entire thing. It's slowing my system down again. I don't know why. It's got to be just churning away there. All right. I'm waiting for it to spit back more stuff at me. Come on. Do something, buddy. Let's see. To enable run as intended. No, you're missing a function. You got cut off. Now I'm arguing with an AI at this point. Function. I'm not hearing beeps in my ear. That's the entire function. Well, that's nice. Was there any other functions below it? Hope not. Okay. We're gonna go click on the copy. There we go. He's thinking about Claude as Copilot. Make sure I get the right name there. I'm getting all sorts of beeps in my head. I think I'm not sure. I may have started this session with the audio from my computer going out there. Not that it matters. But it would be really nice if I could just copy this and get back. I could just release my inhibitions. No, that's a song. Sorry, I get copyright stuff copied. Okay, now we're back. So let's go back over here to the console logger, and we will go paste this, and hopefully that will run. Let's see, tools. Oops, man, that's not syntax. Syntax is fine. Go. And it works. All right, so it's going to go up there. Now I'm going to go and compile it so that the system uses it. We'll build it. I compile it. And we'll move this guy. I'll just bring this up. Let's go back over to Visual Studio Code real quick. All right, so I'm going to go give this a run. See if we get something a little bit better. Okay. I got absolutely nothing going to it. All this stuff here should be mimicking over here, and it is not. It's not a good solution. Well, here's the cool thing is that you can always ask different AIs to help you out. So that's what I'm going to do. There is one that's specifically for coding. I haven't heard much about it in a while. I might want to give it a shot. Let's see. We'll go back over to my editor. We're going to select all of this and get a second AI opinion. So the second one I'm going to go to is going to be, what am I going to go to? We got Claude, we got Perplexity. Let's go to Perplexity. Let's give it a shot. No, not Udemy. I don't need a course on Perplexity. Thank you very much. I need Perplexity itself. I don't need it reviewed. I just need the link. Just take me to Perplexity. Yeah, nice. Perplexity browser. Oh, I want something else slowing down my system. Expired link. Forget you, Perplexity. I'm moving on. We're going to go to... I'm going to go to Google because I can't think of this one particular one. AI for coders. Let's go to that. Claude, Verdant, no. Base, no. Codo, no. Gemini, N8N, Cursor, all sorts of cool stuff, and I can't find. Don't. By the way, I see Deep AI. Don't never use DeepSeek. It's garbage. Absolutely. If I had time, I would try and prove it. Lovable, Replit. These are all application developers over there. I can't think of the system. So we're going to do this. We're going to go over to something called U.com, and I'm going to give it a shot. There's U.com. This is another AI. The cool thing is it will compute. You can customize it, make an AI thing, agent very easily. Paste this in. All right. Back up to the top. Optimize this AutoIt script. Yeah. All right. I'm going to let that cook. While it's cooking, we're going to get some different music. Media assets. We'll go over there. How about Red Sunset? All right. Cool. Nice little thing. So he's chugging away. He's asking some clarifying questions. What specifically want to optimize? Code readability, reduce external dependencies, performance, other. To display all text sent to it. It does not need to keep it all. And what would we call that? First in, last out. Philo. First in is last out. Works fine. Fine for one screen with height of text. We'll do that. That's nice. Questions. Any specific issues or bottlenecks you're experiencing? High CPU, delays, GPU response, no specific other. The calling application sometimes sends text, but it never gets displayed. Only about one page is ever shown. We'll do that. A little wordy, but 3. Do you want optimized script to maintain all current functionality? Maintain all current functionality. Remove unnecessary features. Okay. There we go. And it's a thinking about it. We'll let it percolate for a little while. So it's thinking. Honestly, I haven't heard my my 15-minute execution timer go off. Let's cook away. All right. We'll get that to plug in. All right. Chugging away. Still, this guy shows nothing. All right. Let's go see how this thing is going. That's the thing I really want. That's my workflow right over there. And I'm good for that's Perplexity. This is our guy over here. Okay. Did it finish? It's still thinking about it. Wow. Well, he has a pro plan, and it must be really complex because it's still thinking about this. And I had planned to do this for an hour. The most I usually do it for is an hour and a half. So I'm going to give myself 30 more seconds. And a few people ran away. It's just like, what's this guy doing? Nothing. He was doing nothing before, and he's doing nothing again. So I will let that cook. And while it's cooking, let's try this guy and say, hey, the text is not always going out to the console logger. Logger. And maybe I should spell that one right. Console logger. So it's thinking about it. I just sent the plain texts. Cleaned up most of the stuff. Understand the current implementation diagnosed with. The duplicated declaration along and around 299 and 307. Oh, well. Yes, make this edit. Yeah. All right. So what it's saying is that about what did it say around 299 307. 299 307. Yes, to optimize, one of the things I did was saying, hey, if the last message is the same as the current message, don't do anything. So it only sends it to that thing. So I need to move that. I could do that myself. That's easy enough. That should be easy enough. Okay. Let me take the is duplicate and not error. Send. Still send. External logger may want all messages. Still send to pipe, even for duplicates. Why? Okay. Well, I just do it before I get there, dude. In fact, I could do it way up at the top, couldn't I? Because all I'm really doing is sending in that message. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Yeah. Well, it's because I don't need this for the other stuff. I'm gonna go and fix all that. Let's give this another run. I'm gonna go close that. Gosh, if that was it, I'd be so embarrassed. Oh, I saw another message come in. It was telling me. So, there we go. I should keep an eyeball on both of my screens. Still present, just observing the process. Awesome. If we got one person out there, your mom, like I said, I was asking, are you a developer or a test automation engineer or college student? And what tools do you like to use? Network error monitoring enabled. That's nice. I got. Seriously? Okay. All right. So whatever it did had nothing to do with this. We're going to go into send a pipe. I can make that a little bit private. If you wanted to just chat with me, that's fine. I don't have to share it with everybody else. It does seem realizing that could be quite a intrusion on privacy. So I'm going to go to our definition. This is my send to pipe. Oh, I wonder if pipe failed We're going to get rid of this. I don't care about whether the pipe failed or not. I wonder if this thing is failing. Okay, so now it says, here's this message. If the pipe is connected and the socket is this, and the socket is destroyed, then go write this. How about we say, suck it. Just do one. Oh, can I say that? Just do it. Just like a Nike commercial. Just do it. Just send it out there. I don't need that. Okay, now it's keeping the message and it's going to connect and on air and do all sorts of stuff and not tell me anything of what it's doing. Doing a catch, blah, 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 an interface, and all this extra stuff. Block state, the mutator. What is all of this extra stuff over here in the console log? Oh my gosh. I should have the AI look at this and say, hey, dude, can you just, clean that up? It's just way too much. All right. We're going to give that another flow. I basically said, just do it. If you're able to launch the darn thing, then just go and do it. Oh, boy. Well, that was dumb. It broke it. I don't want to break it. Okay, we're going to put all this back here. We're just going to run it with pipe failed, not returning. We're going to just let it go. Okay, run my workflow. You're going to give me a... okay. There you go. Look at that. Oh, my gosh. Almost right on. Okay, so we figured out what the problem was. Well, maybe. No, we did not. We did not, because this is still doing stuff here. And it's not going out. It had nothing to do with it. I thought, yeah, this is good. But no. I'm going to close that out, force it to fail, and give it one more shot. I was gonna my next run. I'm gonna do a debug and see if there's something in the pipe thing that says, "Hey, I'm gonna stop," which annoys me. I mean, yeah, it's doing this, but it's should be giving me more stuff. All right, we're gonna go and debug. We're going to go over here and we're going to step through send a pipe. Look at that. Occasionally I have to write my own darn code. So, ooh, okay. It said there's an auto mod that I am not aware of. Okay, fair enough. Post it again, your mom, because I didn't see anything that popped up here. I just saw understandable and still present, and thinking that the auto mod held up the message. So, all right. So this guy got this far. He's like, "Hey, I'm ready to receive some stuff." All right. So let's go through this. I got this buffer that it's holding on to, and then it's going to push it out to the message queue. And it says, "Hey, if the pipe is connecting and all that stuff, then set pipe connecting to true." All right. Then we do a socket over here and we say, "Hey, did we get an error? Did we get a close? Did we get a connect?" And oddly enough, we did not get a connect. You would think, let's see, pipe connecting equals false, connected equals true. All right. So this is where it's supposed to write to the socket right there. Queue length, it's pushing it in, and the oldest thing is being pushed out, so no big deal there. I'm going to let it run again. I'm going to put a stop over here to understand. Okay, if it's connected, we do this, and a catch. Actually, I want to catch it on the air, because this is the good path. Let's see if we stop on an error. We can stop over. We can continue on over here. All right, I got to a console log. Now this is saying max retries, so I'm console logging that, and I got nothing. Nothing's coming through. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Setting a pipe, writing a message, all sorts of stuff, and it's still not writing. I mean, it's getting to the right. It's saying it's pushing stuff out there. What's the message? The message has something in it. It's a message object. Prototype 132. Where's the English? I don't know. All right, I'll ask it. Say, "Hey, the problem is here. The text gets sent, but does not display." Not sure where you're at. Your mom, if you message me, let me know if you want to share where you're located. I'm in Chicago, Illinois. If you're anywhere in the States or anywhere else in the world, let me know. I have friends in London and Scotland and Australia. And one of these days, I'm going to make enough money to go visit my friends in London and Scotland and Australia. Oh, it's sitting there thinking about it. It's interesting. By the way, there are two different things. I'm using Copilot here, but there is also I'm sorry, I'm using Claude here. Let's get that right. But there is also Copilot that I've got over here, but it hasn't been active or working. And I'm embarrassed to say, I don't know how to get it back inactive. I was using it just all the time. And like within 2 weeks, I would use up my 300 tokens. And then it's gone. The fix adds a proper flush queue, blah, 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 blah. So it says, hey, give it a shot, I think is what it's saying. If you are actually written to the pipe and received by the auto rather than the being buffered and potentially lost. Okay, let me read this from your mom. It's so funny. It's with various models. Okay. All right. My best advice is, well, two things. One is set aside time. Set a timer. Everybody has a phone. Every phone has a timer. And set an alarm every day. It says, I'm going to spend 1 hour a day, learning something. And go to courses like go to Udemy. This is one guy. I think this is learning how to use Cypress. Cypress is an automation tool. The biggest thing advice I can give you is you want to have something that you're passionate about. Code may not be what you're passionate about. So code was not really truly passionate to me. My passion is magic tricks and gears and anything from Back to the Future. So those are my passions. However, if you can find something that combines those things together, it just makes it so much easier if coding is not your passion. The second thing I can give you is if you find coding just too much of a bore and everything, what I do every day is I tell everyone this, that if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And that's my advice. Maybe the coding is like, I might want to do it. I will give you a very good example. I'm a very prime candidate for learning how to play Dungeons and Dragons for a very, very long time. And by the way, I meant to bring this up on the screen. So Paulie's going to be nice, and he's going to bring this up on the screen and actually show you what Paulie's talking about. There's a Udemy course on Cypress. We'll do that. That's one way you can go to learn some courses. There are wonderful YouTube channels that have how to start easy. So invent a project for yourself that is you are passionate about, and then try to build it, automate it, play with it. And if you want to try and build a website, there's this website called WebSim, websim.com. And this is the funniest thing. And by the way, I have a whole bunch of stuff up here, and they're all little experiments. Projects. Here's my projects. There's a console log window that's sitting on WebSim. I'm doing the exact same thing, and this is actually closer to what I really wanted. I wanted the color and all that stuff, and it's trying to connect, and it's failing to connect to the system. I should try that next. But you basically just describe what you want, and then it goes and says, okay, I'll go do it. And there's some free stuff, but you can also, it does cost a little bit of money. The one bit of advice I was saying, if this isn't your passion, go find your passion. Go find that and do it, because you don't want to spend a career of your life doing things that you're not happy with. I was a bag boy for a couple of years. I was not for 3 years at Jewel, way back at the beginning of my first or second job. One of my other jobs was working in a machine shop. My grandfather was a machinist, and there was a little nepotism in there. And I got a job for about all of, I think, maybe 2 or 3 months. And I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and get in front of this machine, hit 2 buttons that would keep both my hands out of the way of the drill press that would come down. Because if you only did it with one hand, then your other hand, you might be in the way of the drill press, and it might put a drill through your hand, and you did not want to do that. However, that you also had to wear a face mask that was safe, because sometimes the drill would go down and then grab the mold and throw it at your face. Occasionally, the drill bit would break, and then they'd have to go order another drill bit. And I'm like, dude, what? Why don't you just, people make mistake, and then you had to paint oil on it, and the oil looked like milk. So it was simulated oil, and you'd put it on there, and then you would hit the buttons, and it would drill. I'll tell you, that is the most boring job I ever had. I did not want to do that for the rest of my life. My grandfather did it forever. Oh my gosh. But WebSim is kind of a cool place to go find some projects. I don't promote gambling, but I do have this other thing where I have this. It's not a roulette wheel. It looks like a roulette wheel. This is a trainer for understanding where numbers are relative to each other. If you've ever been to a casino, if you're old enough, people get around the table and they bet their numbers, and then zero comes up, and they're like, oh, I wish I had bet on zero. And I started thinking, I wonder if there's a way. What's the minimum way to cover the most amount of numbers near zero, so that I don't have to worry about did I hit or not. I'm like, oh, if it was near zero, I made some money. And what I found by doing this is I could click on this, and there's our 0, 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to say 3 is an outlier. And then I thought, well, let's see what we got. 10, 11, 14, and 13. A couple of numbers coming up there. I like 27 and 28. And I like 35 and 36. And I also like 9. And it just leaves 2 numbers of the gap, and guess where they're located at? They're right here between 27 and 28. So 26 and 30 over here. You make that 25 is missing. Let's get to 25. Look at this. Here's a big area there and a big area there. If the ball spins around and lands over here, you're making money. So this is a really cool site, WebSim, for just building whatever your mind imagines. I also build a lot of my simulators over here too. This is my combo box challenge. This is a combo box. You can select something from there. This is not a combo box. This is an input field sitting on top of a drop-down list. It's a fake combo box, a simulated combo box. This was my first automation challenge back in 2001 for an X-ray company. And they had automation, and the project went dead, and I took it over. Basically, my manager, I did a trick in the system, in the lab, because I do magic, and she did not like me doing that. And I said, my system's rebooting, and she's like, well, and it suddenly shut down. She goes, is it supposed to shut down? And I'm like, no, wake up, the boss is here. And I snapped my fingers, pointed at the system, and it came right back up. And she didn't like being that magic trick or being fooled like that, whatever it was, because I wouldn't tell her how I did it. And the next day, she put me onto an automation project, because I had said I know this thing called WinRunner right here. Still have the software. And she said, "Oh, well, do you know who's the lead of the WinRunner automation project?" I'm like, "No, but I'd like to talk to him. I'd like to learn." And she said, "You are, because you opened the box." I'm like, okay. What was my point on all this? My point was that, I lost the thread. I'm so sorry. I hope you enjoyed the thing. I'll get the thread. Let's see. Your mom is saying, what you're testing for is recursion pertaining to open models and why it happens. I'm not a big fan of recursion. I mean, it's cool, but it is like if you think of coding as a pyramid, the most basic stuff, and there's a lot of it, assigning variables and objects and stuff at the bottom, and then other standard stuff in the middle. Recursion is like at the very tippy top of that pyramid. And the reason why I say it's like that is because I also had a recursive project I did several years ago. I was working for a company that was a flower delivery service, a very popular or well-known one, and they wanted to have to see if all their links were good. And the only way I could think of that is that I went, okay, let's go to the home page, and then let's capture all the links and put them into a list. And then we'll start with the first link on the top, click it, and then capture all the links in that page, put it in a list, and get to the first one, and click it, and go to the third. And at about 3 links down is where I had to stop. But figuring out, and I knew that I'd have to do this recursively, have a function call a function, then call a function, and eventually stop and come your way back up. Hello, I've got an alarm going off. It's saying, Polly, you're talking too much, and you are boring the audience. But anyway, the point is, phone fell about an hour ago. Kill that. The point was is that it drove me nuts trying to figure out when the recursion didn't work. I couldn't figure out where it was going. So use functions and drop out to the function and just do a loop. But I'm sure that I'm not dismissing that. I just like recursion was just way over my head. I'm pretty smart, but I know I have limits. That's why I hang around with other people who are smarter than me and learn from them. And it sounds like what you're explaining there, your mom, you're pretty darn smart. You're pretty up there. And the fact that you're looking for recursion in open models, yeah, you're dude, take a Mensa test. Go do that. I did it. I'm not in Mensa. I failed the test, but not by much, but enough that I had a family member who told me growing up years I was an idiot and I didn't know what I was doing. And there's people out there who do that. And when I was in college, I went and took a Mensa test just so I could come back with a score to say, hey, dude, if you want to call me an idiot, you need to take this test and get a score 1 point higher than me. But if you can't, then we're gonna, you don't get to call me an idiot anymore. Anyway, my little side project over there. I was really hoping I would get this solved, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do it in the next 9 minutes, but I'm going to keep whacking at it. This says that it's got a change in there, so let me go give it another run, see what it's doing. It's still running? Stuck? Oh, probably because I was debugging. Really? Ooh. Oh, dude. Oh. Okay. Let's go give it one more run. Give the workflow a run. See what we get. Any messages? Stuff is going out to the pipeline. To start. And nothing's going out there. And I don't know why. And I'm doing this on main. I really should have done this on another project. One of the other things I use as I close out here is GitLab, GitHub. I used to work in GitLab. I didn't work in GitHub. No specific progress, but I when I'm doing commits out to Git, out to my repo, I'm not really good at typing at the command line and the command prompt. It's cool. A lot of people, swear by it. And when I did it, I would break things, and because I didn't really understand the concept. Having an interface like GUI Desktop, GUI Desktop, GitHub Desktop, really makes it less likely that I'm going to break something. And it also tells me what I'm doing or changing or breaking. Really? I'm saying 2024 and it went to 2026? Oh my gosh. AI is crazy. All right. But it looks like I have a whole bunch of new stuff that I've added in here. My console logger. Basically, the only thing that really changed. Oh, here we go. Got some reporter stuff, console logging. This is the whole console log for queuing up into that pipe name, and it doesn't seem to be working quite as well as I thought it might be. Oh, well. I think I may have to give up on that particular adventure, maybe momentarily. I guess, let's see. Most of the framework stuff I do here, um, you'll hear about page object models. I avoid page object models. This is an adopted project, so there is a page object model behind some of this stuff, but a lot of it, let's say click like this in quotes. That's I gotta be in the code. Let's figure some kind of cool click parentheses and quotes like that. What is he looking at? Why is he just giving me this? It's very interesting. I don't know why I am not getting my click object. Something got reverted. That annoys me because I changed this. But here's an example. When I'm clicking on an object, I'm clicking on a save button over here. I just say the word save. There's no XPath or CSS that's in there. There's a whole bunch of magic behind the click object that really you don't want to go to the definition. Oh my gosh. There's a bunch of magic behind in that click object method that will just take the text and go find the element it's looking for. So it makes writing scripts so much easier. And boy, if I could hide the actual page out there, it'd be great. But this is part of the existing page object model, but there is no XPath or CS when I do click on it. I could send it an object. I could pass it and say, hey, look for it. But in this case, they'll say no. And I do not understand why you're not going to call, because I'm in a README. Polly, where's something else that's a little bit more interesting? So there's a page object. Those are objects over there. But there's a click object next. In this case, I used to have the page object model. Now I have next, and now it takes like 7 or 8 different shots at figuring out what element I might be thinking of. So it goes down here and says, hey, are you a locator or are you a string? And if you're an object, to take it as locator. If you're a string, well, then it goes down here and starts to figure out and looking for using strategies to go find visible elements that use that string. So, okay, your mom is responding back to me. Let me take a look at this. This is an interesting one-way conversation we're having over here. Now, that's a two-way conversation. I really appreciate you hanging out for an hour and a half. You've interacted with me in the past. From interacting with you for the past half hour. You're far from those labels. Not to say we didn't make illogical decisions objectively or arguably in other perceptions of us. I think it's a compliment. I'll take it as a compliment. Oh, your mom, look at this. We got 2 minutes left over here. I did not make the attempt to go as far as I wanted to. But definitely follow. I plan for the new year to be doing live sessions and maybe even announcing them before they start. Once, 3 times a week is my ultimate goal. I'll be looking at a bunch of different tools because I've been doing this for so many years. Lots of people know me in the industry, and I'm far from an idiot. I did prove that to my grandfather, and you know what he did? He totally denied ever calling me an idiot. He says, "We knew you had an interest in the computers, and you were going to be smart." After that, and that was, I think it was when I spoke at my first conference back around 2001, 2002, something like that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, but there's always something more and new to learn. Set an alarm. Pick a language. Pick something. JavaScript is probably pretty good place to start, but you know your area with the recursion and the open models. I'd love to know a little bit more about that. I'm also open to doing having guests on with a live chat. So you can find me on LinkedIn as well, and I'll put out my my LinkedIn account. Do come find me, follow me. Any place you see, all my social media sites have the exact same picture, and that is a guy who looks like me, except a little younger, and has gears behind his head and is twitching his chin. So let me do that. So I will close all my private messages over here. If you're looking for me, that's me over there. And I'll even share my link. I'll throw it into our discussion over here. Want to learn more? I also am open to speak at conferences. I also actively try and find conferences to speak at. And oh, by the way, if you want to learn a little bit about test automation with WebDriver.io, this is my book, published it about 2 years ago. There is one paragraph of AI. The rest of it is all written by hand. And these are all the tips and tricks and stuff that I do in every one of my frameworks. I am working on a version for other languages and tools and automations like Cypress and Playwright. And but the cool thing is with AI, you can actually grab the code in this. It is all the code in here is up on a GitHub repo, and you can grab it and tell the AI, hey, please, whatever this guy's talking about, can you implement it into this language or this tool? So definitely get into AI. It's the common thing, and there's I think there's a whole lot more that's going to go on. It's so prevalent or pervasive is really the word I want to use. Okay. I believe that is all we are. We're like a minute over 90. We went for 91 minutes. I gotta go grab some lunch. Your mom, I'm gonna go follow you. It was a pleasure talking to you, and keep in touch, and have yourself a great day. Tomorrow we're gonna give it another shot. See how far we get. Cheers, everybody.